Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or over in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
Thank God we're not a member of FDIC. You can't trust those guys at all.
I don't know anybody living or deceased anyway. So
no, I mean, deceased is kind of hard to have a conversation with those people. Welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. It's October 29th, 2025, and this is episode 139, or as some of the kids call it, 139.
Or if you're an AI voice, it's 139.
Yeah.
When they have something that's 1200, it always cracks me up. You know it's AI because it's 1-200. What? What the hell? You mean 1200? What are you?
Some of those AI voices sound pretty good.
Yeah. And then they get to that little, there's always that little bit, and then you listen, nobody's taking a breath for an entire 20-minute video.
Yeah, and there are just some words that are pronounced differently depending on the application, and they get it wrong almost every time. So it's wonderful. And by the way, if you missed last week's episode, it's because I screwed up. I got some music from a site that I normally use that is normally royalty free, and it's always worked in the past because it's just not it's not anything that people get upset about you using their music. They like it, as long as we're not making any money off it, they don't seem to care. But the Halloween music that we got last week, somebody cared because Spotify said you're out, and we didn't, and I could have gone back and fixed it, but we've been wide open this last week or so. I have not had a chance to sit down and fix it. So 138 is pretty much in the trash can, unless you go to YouTube or Rumble. It's still up there. I double checked this morning, and we're good there. Oh, by the way, on our podcast, we gained another country.
Really?
And it is Pakistan. We added Pakistan, so we're up to 46 countries now. So,
ooh, getting close to the vulnerable 50.
Yeah. We need to add a couple of more third world countries apparently, and we'll get that ASAP. But yeah, so if you're using a VPN to listen to us, find a different country. Get our numbers up there.
Yeah, I'm still in the good old USA.
Yeah. Every time I bring mine up, it puts me on the Netherlands, which we already have anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I always take it off just because I don't want it to be routing so far. I don't want any lag time when we're doing this. So anyway, big shout out to our good friends at Bold FM. My good friends Vincent and Terry, and there's another guy there. Gosh, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me. I'm getting old, man. Yeah. But anyway, there's three guys over there at Bold FM have helped us out so much. We've recorded stuff for them. We actually have a promo for the podcast on their station that they have run for us before, plus their imaging stuff. I've recorded some stuff for them, and they've always been so good to us whenever we've asked them for anything. We do have a couple of things that we're going to try to play this week that they
and they fit right in with our fun little snarky personalities.
Yeah, this time it's not Vincent. This time it's Terry that recorded this, and our good friend Terry. What a great guy. He's dealing with some health issues, and God bless him. I hope he pulls through all that. And anyway, they're our favorite Irish guys over there at Bold FM. And if you ever want to listen to some good, I think it's a lot of 80s stuff. It's fantastic music. It's oldies, put it that way. It might be 70s in there too, but it's really, really good music, good people. Give them your business if you want to listen to it. You can find them on a handful of those radio apps. I don't think it's on iHeart, but you can find them on, I can't think of the name of the one that I've done promos for in the past. But anyway, there's a couple of apps out there that you can tune in is one of them. And I can't remember the other one. It's Real something, I think. But anyway, Bold FM. You're going to find those guys over there. They're great people. Anyway, it's not just the crazed street commies anymore that are talking this violent crap, but it's the leadership and the high-profile pundits that are doing some of this stuff. It's like Unhinged is their middle name lately.
That's a good middle name for them. Yes, yes. It's the talking Democrats are talking more violent talk because they talk.
Well, they don't know when to shut up. I think is part of it. The House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Some people call him Timu Obama, but I mean, and I think there's a couple of people that like to call him that. Anyway, he says he pictures himself brandishing a baseball bat and has previously called upon people to fight in the streets against the crazy Republicans. Really good stuff.
Let's see who's crazy. Who is it that's in the street with a baseball bat? Let me just, what? Yeah.
And then, of course, crazy California Governor Gavin Newsom, we like to call him Greasy Gavin. We'll hear more from him later. But he says, I'd like to punch these sons of bitches in the mouth. Really? Okay. And these are quotes. Now, nothing that I've come up with. Virginia Democratic gubernatorial nominee Abigail Spanberger called on her supporters to let your rage fuel you. Then she refused to obviously withdraw her support from the Democratic candidate for Attorney General, Jay Jones. We've talked about him several times in the past and those kind of things. He expressed his desire to kill his political opponents and his children, which is just a lovely, lovely, he's got to be fun to have lunch with. Yeah. And in his podcast, this is the one that kind of surprised me, even though and don't get me wrong, I've got some people I know from Louisiana that are just wonderful people, but it's normally just one way or the other. They're either wonderful or they're like wonderfully suited for the crazy house. And in his podcast with his co-host Alan Hunt, James Carville, who would guess which side I think he ought to be on, again was spewing his unhinged hate. He returned to treating Trump and others as Nazis, or talking about him as Nazis and their supporters as collaborators. He doubled down on his previous statements, but this is what he said, and this is a quote, I believe, from that podcast. He says, you know what we do with collaborators? I think these corporations, my fantasy dream, I don't know, this is the way he talks. It's a little disjointed, but my fantasy dream is that this nightmare ends in 2029, and I think we ought to have radical things. I think that they ought to have their heads shaven, they should be put in orange pajamas, and they should be marched down Pennsylvania Avenue, and the public should be invited to spit on them. Really? Yes.
Yeah, well, he's he sits out in that chair and he wears an old hat that's just about all wore out, and he's got on his LSU gear of some sort there, and he's telling you how they ought to all do this here, and he's like 80 years old, and it's like, what did he just say? It sounded like, I don't know.
And he's married to like Marlee Matlin or something. She used to be a Republican pundit. I don't know how.
Well, Marlee Matlin is she's the hard of hearing actress, so that would not be her name.
If you were hard of hearing, no. Who am I thinking of? What is his wife's name?
I know I can't think of her name. If there was just a device we could look something up on.
I'm looking it up.
I don't remember it either, but you're right. She was
Mary Matlin.
There you go.
I was close. I mean,
yeah, you were close. You weren't far off, but I went, no, yeah, I know it's not that one.
Well, being hard of hearing would really come in handy if you were his wife, I would think.
I would think that would help.
Gosh, he did add a little bit extra to this. He says the universities, the corporations, the law firms, all of these collaborators should be shaven, pajamaed, and spit on. He said it a couple of times apparently in this podcast. And in, I got a couple more. In complete pettiness, Representative Eric Swalwell, which we all know about this.
Oh, Lord.
Sleeps with Chinese spies and farts on national television. He said this on Twitter the other day. He says, don't even think of seeking the Democratic nomination for president unless you pledge to take a wrecking ball to the Trump ballroom on day one. Everybody has got their knickers in a knot about this ballroom, man.
Not everybody, only a few of the big Democrats, the majority of Americans, and it's like 55 to 60%, somewhere in through there, maybe closer to 60. We're all in favor of it. Yay, Ross, not costing us anything. That'd be nice to bring state delegates in, and you don't have to put a tent up in the backyard because, you got to do it that way.
It was a walkway that he demolished anyway. It wasn't even a piece of the building. It was a walkway that got demolished. And almost every president has done something. Obama put up a full-length basketball court while he was in office.
And
Hillary
did some other things in his
$150,000 worth of furniture.
Yeah, that she had to bring back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot have heirloom stuff. No, that's not yours.
No.
Really?
And plus, when they left office, they took all the W's off the keyboards. You remember that? Because of George W. Bush? Talk about pettiness. Goodness gracious. They've all done things, but this is the first time that Trump has kind of like funded it himself. He's gotten, I think part of it is his money, but part of it is donations. He's not used one dime of taxpayer money for this.
Nope, and the cost went up, and they went, well, he said it was this much, and now it's yeah, and still none of it is taxpayer money. So what do you care?
Exactly. We're not.
They're trying to find stuff, and they're getting shut down because of what? How do you argue against that?
It's tough, but they continue to try. So I mean, whatever. Kamala was in the news. She was being interviewed on the BBC this past weekend, and she sounded like, in all likelihood, that she'll run for president again.
I'm the most celebrated non-presidential winner in history. I even have a book to prove it.
There was probably some good English Scotch sitting there, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my
anyway,
Lord.
This is how she sounded.
In terms then of what is next for you, you write very powerfully about the differences that many women have made to your life, whether that was your meeting with Angela Merkel or the experience of growing up with your extraordinary mother or the stories of your baby nieces, Amara and Leela. When are they going to see a woman in charge in the White House?
In their lifetime, for sure.
Could it be you? Possibly. Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not.
But you say in your book, I'm not done.
That is correct. I am not done. I have lived my entire career a life of service, and it's in my bones. And there are many ways to serve. I've not decided yet what I will do in the future beyond what I am doing right now.
But you've been very clear that it's a possibility you might run again to become president. And in my experience interviewing politicians, when someone says, I'm not done, it means they are thinking seriously about running. But when you look at the bookies' odds, they put you as an outsider, even behind Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, is that underestimating you?
I think there are all kinds of polls that will tell you a variety of things. I've never listened to polls. If I listened to polls, I would have not run for my first office or my second office. And I certainly wouldn't be sitting here in this interview.
They put you behind a pro wrestler and an actor. It's like, and I think Dwayne's a better choice than she is anyway. So I'm
when
with
she actually ran and had to get her own votes, she didn't even get 1% of those. That's why she was one of the first ones to drop out. Nobody wanted her. The time she did run, she didn't get voted in. She was anointed.
And the only reason that Biden selected her, in his words, was because she's a black female. And that was the only criteria that he had for his vice president. God bless him. He got it. So, I mean,
he got what he paid for. I've always done service to who? To you? Because, the border czar, let's say czar, heavily putting that in there. You didn't do anything. Have you been to the border? Yeah, I haven't been to Europe either. Oh, what the hell does that got to do with going down to the border? And then she went to the border close enough to go, I'm in El Paso and there's the border. Hi, border. That's as close as she got.
She didn't even get near the water, not even close to the Rio Grande, not even close. But again, we were talking off the air. It's like, I lived a life of service. It's in my bones. If you have to tell me you're a good person, you're not. We should have had that recorded because that was so good.
Yeah.
You're not a good person.
No.
You tell me you're a stand-up person that you're just, I have a heart of gold. Nobody's going to believe that if you say that. I mean, come on.
No, I don't believe you. Well, it's a heart of a metal. I wouldn't call it gold. Maybe spray painted that color to look like gold.
Well, as long as you use Krylon so the rain doesn't.
So it doesn't chip and run.
I saw that the Babylon Bee came out with a top with a meme that says the top Republicans have donated already $50 million to our campaign. I would love to see that. You know what that would mean? That would mean we're looking at President J.D. Vance and possibly Vice President Marco Rubio in 2028. But, I mean, I can always dream. Who knows?
Yeah. Somebody was going, oh, she wants to run for president. Please. They were going, please, yes, run again, please.
I'll donate to that campaign. Let's do this. I think it's wonderful.
He burned through what? Over $1 billion in less than 100 days?
It was like almost $1.5 billion. Yeah. And
it was a huge amount.
In the hole, I think. Yeah. It was, goodness gracious. He still didn't. Yeah.
Well, you can only shovel it in the porcelain altar of fame so fast, I suppose.
That's true. That's true. Let's find the, let me see, where are we here? This is this is what we were talking about, our buddies over at Bold FM. Our whole episode this week is about people running for office. And so we are calling this.
It's time for this week's segment of Crazy People Trying to Get Elected. God help us.
I love hearing from him. I'm so glad that he's doing okay. He's hanging in there.
He's doing good. He's doing good. Anyway, that was our buddy Terry over at Bold FM. Andrew Cuomo is pulling out all the stops to win the mayoral race in New York City. God bless him. I think it's wonderful. Here he is talking in an interview, I think it was the other day.
If Zoran Mandami wins the election, Donald Trump will take over New York City. He will be President Trump and Mayor Trump.
What?
He has already said as much. He will say, because it'll be the perfect excuse for the president to do what he wants to do, which is seize power and control over New York City, the greatest city in the country, if not the globe. And he will say, this person is a threat to public safety. He's 33 years old. He's never had a job. He's anti-police, anti-business, anti-Semitic. I have to come in to protect New Yorkers. And on what would be Mayor Mandami's election inaugural day, you will see tanks coming down Fifth Avenue with Donald Trump taking a selfie in front of Trump Tower. And it will be mayhem.
Is that fear-mongering, or is that how realistic do you think that is?
It is what President Trump said he will do. And it is what makes total sense for him to do. He sends National Guard into cities. Why? Because he's making a political point. These Democrats don't know how to run these cities, and they endanger people. And it takes me, Donald Trump, to send in the federal troops to clean up the mess these Democratic lunatics are creating. That's what the National Guard is about. They're not really there for any other purpose. It's a political power play.
I think if you look up fear-mongering and lunatic, I think you get pictures of Andrew Cuomo.
And it's like, this is what he's going to do. They said that all before he was elected the last time. He never did any of it. And now he's trying to bring it back and say the things that didn't work the last time they said that. And it's... There are people in those cities who are going, thank you for bringing in. We are so tired. I haven't been able to walk to the store in years. This is so nice. But no, that's not what the Democrats want to talk about. No, that's not it.
I've heard plenty of residents in Washington, D.C., when all this first started, that have said, this is great. My kids can play at the playground again, and things are better. So, I don't understand why the Democrats are against this whole cleaning up the city. I mean, because obviously the DAs and the mayors are not empowering the police to do what they should be doing. So, I mean, I think the problem is that once the National Guard gets pulled out, everything's going to go back to the way it was, and we can't continue to keep the National Guard in there. So I don't know what the end game is. But I don't know. Talk about fear mongering. Oh my gosh, I'm glad that whoever was interviewing him asked that question. It's like,
yeah, they're going, are you sure? It's like, none of this has ever happened. And I love how the Democrats are continuing to say this is what he's going to do. And he's never done this of what he said he was going. He's not taking over nothing.
He's never said that either. If he said it, that clip would be playing everywhere. I mean,
on a continuous loop.
We'd see it during the whole halftime show on the NFL, and it'd be everywhere. Anyway, he never said any of that. So, I mean, again, fear mongering. Whatever. We are up against a break. Excuse me. When we come back, we're going to hear from the other Cuomo brother that it might make Thanksgiving dinner a little uncomfortable. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Stay connected with these guys. Email at soml@duck.com or go to the website stayoffmylawn.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Inspirational Poster Writer.
Mr. Inspirational Poster Writer.
Without you, how would we ever know that today, not tomorrow or last Thursday, is the first day of the rest of our lives?
Starting right now.
You ask us to take it one day at a time and remind us turkeys flock, but eagles soar alone.
Soaring high.
Only you could turn a picture of a kitten doing chin-ups into something more than cuddly. You make it inspiring.
Believe in yourself.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh poet of the poster. You try very hard to make us try very, very hard.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
I am so glad that neither one of us previewed those. They're completely organic to us. I've got them in a list. Don't pre-listen to it. we have good reactions to it.
They're hilarious. The title on that one, Mr. What was it? Something poster, blah, blah, blah. The title went on forever. It's like, holy. And the poor guy singing goes, you want me to sing what? I can just hear him going, are you sure it's going to fit?
Thank you to Marty for sending all those to us. He listened from the beginning, I believe. And we appreciate him. But anyway, the other Cuomo boy was quoted this week.
The other Cuomo boy.
They're not boys, but anyway, the Thanksgiving dinner is really I would love to be a fly on the wall for that. But Chris Cuomo had this to say about Trump just this past week.
I believe that what the Democrats did to Donald Trump, which I covered, which was the job, to impeach a guy when you know you have no chance of getting him removed, okay? Zero chance. That was a political indulgence to do nothing but distract from the interests of the people. And you were creating an impression of a standard that you never had any intention of holding up yourself. And the Democrats have proven the problem with their actions. Those New York cases, Charlie, were crap. And they only brought them to try to slow down Trump. We both know it. And what they did with Kamala Harris is proof that they don't give a shit about any higher standard. They didn't even allow for democratic process in their own stupid little club where they can do whatever they want.
Stupid little club. I love that. I think Andy should make that his campaign speech. And the thing about New York, Mamdani is starting to lose a little bit of his support, according to the polls.
Oh, the shine is coming off.
Oh yeah, most Republicans don't respond to polls, so you really I do think Kamala is right in a certain aspect. You can't really depend on polls. Um, but it's normally going against the Democrats when the polls are dependent on. So
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't know. Mamdani's not doing so great. Curtis Sliwa, and there's some controversy about him. Not necessarily him himself, but I mean, there are some people saying that he should drop out of the race so Andrew has a shot at beating out Mamdani. Um, other people are saying, I think Andrew should jump out so Curtis Sliwa has a chance. Right now, they're kind of splitting the anti-Mamdani vote. So one of them probably should go. I don't think Andrew Cuomo's that big of an improvement over Mamdani. I think that he's kind of proven himself to be an idiot.
Yeah.
But,
Well, the stuff that we just played kind of points the needle that way. There's not much you can say about it. It's like, that was not good.
It was not good. It was not, I think he needs to be more scripted. Sort of like when you let Uncle Joe, when he would kind of go off the reservation and he said, back in Scranton, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go.
And the hair on my legs, you'd rub them and they'd, what the hell are you talking about?
I like little kids rubbing my legs.
Well, Cammy Joe's not any better. Her unscripted is like, what? All she has is communist slogans that she can spit out.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
In full transparency, Richard and I are all unscripted pretty much on this whole show. So we're doing better than they are. Not a lot, but we're doing a little bit better.
Yeah, we're having more fun at it, if that counts for anything.
And this next thing, file this under, if I have to tell you something, then chances are it's not true. Speaking of crazy in New York City.
Nice segue.
See, I'm doing my best here. And that was unscripted. I don't have any of that written down. That was good.
We have our stories, folks. They're like one line. That's it. That's all we have. We have an outline that we follow most of the time.
The rest of it is just caffeine and weirdness and weirder. We're working that angle to death here. But AOC cleared up what's crazy and apparently what is not. Here she had to say, I think it was Saturday here.
But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City.
No.
Really? We are not the outlandish ones, New York City.
No.
They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
Again, I'm a good person. My feet don't smell. My breath is good.
I'm glad the clip wasn't any longer because her voice is like nails on a chalkboard. God, that's annoying.
It is, yes.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, I'm good. Trust me. I'm a good person. You believe me, right?
I haven't made a lot of money since I've been making. I haven't made millions and millions of dollars in the last few years. No.
Yeah. How did she go from I was a poor bartender to now she's worth like $12 million or more? I saw the number. I can't remember. Huh?
6-8 years. She hasn't been in office that long. I mean,
yeah. Well, she learned from
Auntie Nancy.
Yeah, showed her really well, and it's like, oh, is that what you got to do? Okay. Well, that's shady as hell. I'm in.
Again, if you're a trading kind of person, go to capitaltrades.com and you can find where all the Republicans and Democrats and what they're trading on.
Yeah,
find the people on the military spending committees, and you're going to be good to go. Your 401k will thank you.
Your Roth IRA will never have looked better.
That's right. Oh my gosh! Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He's been a little snarky lately. I like that he's kind of gotten a little bit more backbone about the way he talks. But he had a good take on the craziness of this shutdown that we know as the Schumer shutdown. But it begins with SH one way or the other. Anyway, here we go.
What we're witnessing is truly the end of the Democratic Party as we've known it, and even some Democrats are now saying that out loud. You can see it in their interviews. I watched one last night. All this is directly related to the Democrats' shutdown show. Why? Because just like they decided to save their own skin, that they had to endorse the Marxist Mamdani in an unprecedented move, they have also decided they had to shut down the government in an unprecedented move. No matter the pain it inflicts upon hardworking American people, they were simply more afraid of the Marxists in their party than they are of voters.
Yeah, and this has been brought up by many people that the extreme left part of the party has taken over. It happened during Biden. We're still seeing it today.
Oh yeah, and they want, and they're going, well, and the Democrats do not want to negotiate on any of this. You're going to give us, we're going to tell you what you're going to do for us. We want our $1.5 trillion back so we can send money overseas for whatever, some of the dumb things that are going.
LGBT.
I don't think it's money going overseas. I think it's going and making a loop. Their slush fund has been eliminated and they're not happy about it.
Yeah, Swiss bank accounts and Cayman Island bank accounts are still overseas. I mean,
yeah, it goes, and then it's like so much gets to that, and then we're going to give you this many millions, and by the way, you need to give me one of those millions back.
and that's the thing when they and we've talked about this plenty of times, but when they shut down USAID, 97% of the funding that went to USAID dried up because of Doge, and I think it's a good thing. But it's again that old saying that when you throw a rock into a pack of dogs, the one that makes the most noise is the one that got hit. So the Democrats that got all upset and started crying about USAID, I think they're the ones who are getting the kickbacks.
Yeah, that's the problem is that back pocket action where they stick the old hiney out and it's full again now. Oh, that's lots better. And that pocket's been being filled for quite some time, and they were getting, would you say, out in the open about it, or they just weren't trying to hide it anymore. It's like, oh yeah, no, we're doing this, and what Trump's going to be president? Oh crap! Quick, you got to clean up the house.
Yeah, we got to do something. Yeah, get the vacuum cleaner. Yeah,
yeah, and it was not working. So every time they kept eliminating these programs that were like, what, they're doing what with taxpayer money? No, and we have more on taxpayer money.
Classes in Croatia and in Monaco and stuff. It's like, what? I mean, taxpayer money should not be going overseas in that capacity in any way, shape, or form.
Teaching underwater basket weaving in the Congo. Whatever.
There was a cartoon in LGBTQ cartoon in Colombia, I think it was, or Peru, one of them. It's like, who even thinks this stuff up? But again, it's to funnel money to people, their supporters, themselves. You can't convince me otherwise. There's a lady named Barry Weiss. She has taken over the news department at CBS, and she's starting to make some changes. She was actually an op-ed reporter for the New York Times, and she worked for the Wall Street Journal, I think, also. But apparently she's gifted with some common sense, and she sees the problems at CBS. And I think that, it seems like the reporting has started to change a little bit too. This was Margaret Brennan, and I think every time I hear the name Margaret Brennan, it's like, it was a J.D. Vance said, "None of us care, Margaret," or something like that.
Trying to push a narrative during an interview, and he just went, "No, we don't give a rip about that." So moving on.
We don't care, Margaret. Have a nice day. Yeah. Anyway, she was interviewing Hakeem Jeffries. Some people call them the Timu Obama.
Good old Hakeem.
She was asking him good pointed questions, and here's how that went.
You said Democrats, there are no election deniers on our side of the aisle. You said that back in January. But recently, you've been using the term rigged elections in reference to the upcoming midterms. Democrats were appalled when President Trump used language like that. How do you justify using that now? Doesn't that undermine faith for voters? You need to show up.
No, I've been using that term in the context of Donald Trump's unprecedented effort to gerrymander congressional maps in a partisan fashion all across the country in order to rig the midterm elections and deny the ability of the American people to actually decide who should be in the majority as it relates to the House of Representatives.
Democrats are also going through gerrymandering and redistricting.
No. Well, Democrats are going to push back aggressively to make sure that we have fair maps across the country, not partisan gerrymandering, which Republicans have initiated in state after state after state.
I've had better.
Wait a minute, I love that. No, not us, them. No, you guys have been doing it for years. If you look at Illinois, you go, that's a district. And up with the others.
All of New England is not one Republican representative from up there.
Nope, they've got it all done up, and they're acting like, well, we've never done this, with a halo that's going falling off to one side.
Like you said, when he said no, it's almost like, Margaret, you didn't tell me you were going to ask me a hard question. No.
We're not talking about us. We're talking about them. No, quit bringing us up. We didn't do it. You've been doing it forever. If you look at California, it's a mess, and they're trying to make it a bigger mess against their Constitution.
Again, I think that in California, you've had a lot of businesses, multi-billion-dollar businesses move out. You've had a lot of people in New York because Mamdani's already said that he's going to raise taxes on the ultra-rich. And those ultra-rich are the people who own these businesses. They're all going to leave. He's going to raise the taxes 2%. That's a lot of money.
That is a bunch. Yeah, California is doing what the old Iron Maiden used to say about socialism is it won't take long, and pretty soon you're out of other people's money, which is going on. And then we're seeing that now with people that are on food stamps and that should be working. They're able-bodied, but they're busy spending their money on their nails and their big flappy eyelashes and whatever else. And I don't have any money, and the taxpayer's supposed to take care of me. No, you need to figure out. I've been where we didn't have crap and we ate just soup, and you were glad to have bones to boil stuff off of to get through. So
we were saving up for our first house. We had spaghetti 3 nights a week, just because it was cheap.
Yeah.
But that's what normal people do. They don't rely. I've never gotten a check from the government except for when I work for the government. So hopefully I'm still around to get my Social Security benefits, and hopefully it's still around. But anyway,
it'll be. I'm just hoping you are.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, the way
I want you to get your fair share.
I got to get a little ROI is what I'm thinking.
There you go.
But anyway, she's actually Barry Weiss over there at CBS. She's actually eyeballing getting Brett Baier and Scott Jennings to come on board at CBS. So Scott Jennings would leave CNN, and Brett
Baier would be no great loss to CNN. He's the only decent thing they have there at the moment.
But he keeps the conversation lively. I think that would hurt them.
It's not going to do them any good having him go away. Brett Baier, I would hate to see leave Fox, but I don't really watch much of his stuff because of the time he comes on. Eastern is like middle of the day for us, and I just don't tune in.
I just get to see clips from their website and stuff. And,
I don't have the time to watch the shows. I just don't. Some clips here and there, and somebody else might have, or someone else talking about it. Okay, I'm good with that.
You and I do the same thing, absolutely. Even CNN is being forced to ask some tough questions. Here's Jake Tapper, and you brought up SNAP benefits and everything. We're going to dip into that a little bit here, but he was asking Democratic Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury about her stubbornness when it comes to this government shutdown.
Table this weekend,
should the Democratic,
and we're not going to stand for it.
Should the Democratic senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
Let me be clear. The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding their
tactics.
By
the White House.
Well,
this is a choice by the White House.
This is also,
Congresswoman,
this is also a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. Yes, it is. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want Medicaid funds restored. They're doing it because they want Obamacare premiums to be extended past the end of the year. I understand the reasoning.
Sir, let me just be clear. The money for contingency plans is sitting there. That is why the states are suing. The White House is withholding funds from
2 to 3 weeks worth
to
of SNAP funds.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it may not be a big deal to you, but let me tell you that for the grandparents, for grandparents that literally are feeding their children,
my point is that it's a short-term solution.
In those accounts,
it's a short-term.
At the end of the day, people need to be able to feed their families, and Saturday is when those funds run out.
If you feel so
and
strongly,
we are fighting
Congresswoman, why not ask the Senate Democrats from New Mexico to vote to open the government so that the SNAP funds...
Sir, I am here in the House of Representatives. It is shut down. I am fighting to get the government reopened. I am fighting to get funding.
Like a broke clock. Jake Tapper's right at least twice a day, and that was one of his.
That was one of the times where, I expected her to sound almost like, "Let me be clear, I'm not a crook." It's like, give me a break, lady. You are holding the government hostage because you want your $1.5 trillion of slush fund money back. That's what it amounts to. Have you heard some of the crap where the money's going to foreign entities and they want to pay for all of the individuals that are illegals that are in the country? And no, they're not immigrants. They're illegal immigrants. It's no, we can't afford it. We're not paying for them. Other people's money is saying no right now.
No matter what Don Lemon says, it is a crime for someone to be here illegally. It's a misdemeanor. It's not a crime. It's like, anyway, they should not be getting funds for going to, because all they do, they go to emergency rooms, clogging up the emergency rooms, especially in California. California is using the federal funds that they get to pay for those emergency room visits.
But we're not taking federal funds and paying for illegal aliens' health care. Really? You're going to talk semantics that way?
That lie's falling on deaf ears. Speaking of SNAP funds, and a lot of people, including myself, I don't understand a lot of where these SNAP benefits go, but Newsmax's Rob Finnerty gave us a little bit of insight on this, and this is really good.
There are 42 million people in this country that need food stamps on a weekly basis. And we're saying people deliberately instead of Americans, because most of the people that are on food stamps aren't even from this country. 45% of Afghanistan immigrants are on food stamps, 42% of Somali immigrants, 34% of every immigrant from Iraq, 23% of Haitians, 59% of all illegal aliens are collecting food stamps, meaning that most of the people getting food stamps from the U.S. government and the U.S. taxpayer are not even Americans. Think about that. And we didn't know about any of this before the government shutdown started, but thanks to Democrats, we can confirm tonight that millions of Joe Biden illegal aliens, people who crossed the border when Joe was president, are now collecting food stamps from a program funded by hardworking American taxpayers.
Almost 60%. So, I mean,
it's they can say what they want, but I love all these things they're finding out while the government shut down. They're still digging in and looking for stuff and like, ooh, looky what we found this time. It's like the Democrats are going, what is that? What keeps biting at my the little nipper is getting
spider. Is it a spider? I
mean, yeah. Well, a spider bark is something different altogether. But
it's completely different. You're right, and that's something we don't need to talk about.
But they've been doing a lot of that too.
They have been, yeah. Eric Swalwell, like we said before. Anyway, Greasy, we are up against a break. When we come back, Greasy Gavin has kind of changed his talk. Do you remember the beginning of The Jerk? Do you remember that movie, The Jerk? Steve Martin?
Yes.
He said he was born a poor black child. Well, Greasy Gavin must have just seen that movie because he did the. I just thought of this off the cuff. Again, unscripted. Here we go. Anyway, he's talking. He's talking like he was born a poor black child. Anyway, we'll dive into that when we come back. Hang in there.
The Stay Off My Lawn podcast will be right back.
The state of senior hunger is a sad one. According to Feeding America, because of this poor economy, seniors are experiencing food insecurity. They lack access to enough food to support a healthy lifestyle. This means seniors are at risk of not getting enough to eat. Many more are making tough choices between the nutrition they need and basic essentials, including prescriptions, paying for medical, rent, and utility bills. Hunger increases the risk of numerous health problems such as asthma, depression, and congestive heart failure. So please, check into your state or local food bank and volunteer to help or donate food today. Help those who are the most vulnerable among us.
I have a little add-on addition for the SNAP benefits thing. This is the words of some Democrats that are out there. This one guy's name is Martin Heinrich, and think of the word they're starting to use a lot here is leverage. This is very interesting. My wife just sent this to me a little while ago. It says, Martin Henrich said, paying our troops gives the president more leverage. Bernie Sanders says, you open the government and we lose our leverage. Chuck Schumer said, every day it gets better for us. Talking about leverage. Ruben Gallego, that guy from Arizona, he says, then I just go back and shut it down again. Again, about leverage. Congresswoman Catherine Clark said there will be families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times that we have. I mean, this is not about the betterment of the people, like they try to say. This has nothing to do with them. They're using this as political pawns to gain advantage for what they want.
Well, when they're saying it's, the longer it goes, the better for us. Oh, they are so wrong. Democrats in Congress right now just had another poll came out, and it's only like 26% approval.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
And a lot of that is from other Democrats that they were polling, and they can't even get a good poll from other Democrats.
There should be about half if that's truly what
they're going. It just keeps getting lower and lower every week that this goes on. And America is seeing who the problem is. They know they want 1.5 trillion to give to illegal aliens, and they're going, no, we're tired of doing that. No.
And when it comes to this whole welfare thing and SNAP benefits and everything, and I know there are some people out there that are going through a rough time and need it. I get that totally. But here's a guy brought this up, and I don't have it on my computer, but I'm going to play it for you on my phone. But he actually made a good comparison. Here's how that goes.
Food stamps program is administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They proudly report that they distribute free meals and food stamps to 46 million people on an annual basis. Meanwhile, the National Park Service, ran by the U.S. Department of Interior, asked us to please do not feed the animals when we visit the parks. Their stated reason for this policy is being that the animals will grow accustomed and dependent on the handouts, and they will never learn to take care of themselves.
Now, is that great or what?
Yeah, I think I found that one. I might have sent that one to you. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. Sweden has found that out. Just cut off the funds and they leave.
Yeah. I mean, it's just make it make sense, because the more you give, it's like teach a man to fish, he feeds himself for life. You give him a fish, he eats for a day. These phrases have been around for thousands of years.
Yep. And they still mean the same thing, and they still have the same impact. You just keep giving, and pretty soon the hands out is like, where's my funds? Where's my? I want my money. Where? It's like, you taxpayers are supposed to take care of me. No, nowhere does it say because you don't want to work, I have to take care of you. No.
And the writer of 2/3 of the New Testament, the Apostle Paul, even said, if you don't work, you don't eat. So, I mean, this has been going on for a long time, that, this whole government handout thing.
Well, and that happened in Russia when everybody was getting level pay. You all get the same pay. Well, this guy hardly is working. I'm working my butt off, but I'm not making any more money than him. Well, then pretty soon your initiative to work harder goes down the toilet, and now nobody's working hard and nothing's happening.
I saw that. I was reading a story about AI, and there was a video that went along with it. I think it was part of Kim Commando's email. But anyway, she was talking about AI, and there was some coffee shop somewhere where they had like AI, they had a camera watching all the baristas making their coffee and everything, and they was keeping track on how many cups of coffee each one of them. Did you see this?
Yes.
Each one of them were making, and it's like there was one girl kind of in the corner trying to stay out of the way. She had only made like 3. The one girl that was working hard was making like 20.
Yeah, and it was 20.
So you can actually use AI for good. Obviously, there's some bad out there too, but I mean, at least you could maybe give that person a raise that's doing the more work. That's the way it ought to be. I mean, I've got no problem with that. I mean, some people wouldn't like that, but I mean, if you're going to try to make equal pay across the board for everybody, whether you work hard or not, that's completely against the American way, completely.
Yeah, it's I've seen it done. That's why I enjoyed route work. The bigger your route was, the more money you make. The harder you work to make that route bigger, to take care of customers better, so that they're referring somebody else. All of a sudden, you're running $1 million business out of a truck.
Yeah,
That's somebody else has got all the liability, but it served my family quite well. I don't mind working hard. I grew up on a farm. You worked hard. The harder you worked, you got more money.
Exactly, and that's been the way it's supposed to. Well, and anyway, it's the way it's supposed to be because it makes common sense, and then we know that that's not common anymore. So, speaking of uncommon common sense, Greasy Gavin was just recently on a podcast with a couple of black guys. Yeah, it's terrible. But I don't know the name of this podcast, but they kind of bought into what he was saying. To me, it was like filled with red flags. But anyway, he suddenly feels like he is becoming who he needs to be, depending on who he talks to. Sort of like Uncle Joe. But anyway, here's how that sounded.
But also, it was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
it's like the White Stack 5 story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Man,
bro.
Are you talking about me?
Young YG.
YG, man.
Every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man. And your arms
Entertaining yourself.
That's it. Whole thing. So just, and then, then this student that was shitty student is in the back with his head down, all of a sudden started throwing the baseball a little faster than everyone else. And started, make a few free throws because I was sitting there practicing 500 of them every damn night. And in high school, I look up in the stands, my dad's back up there.
Okay, dope.
And it's like, man, and then he's bringing his friends and you're captain of the team and you're like, gee, and it just saved me and it got me into college.
If he couldn't cash in his credibility anymore, just don't understand.
I hope his arm doesn't hurt so much of bending it that far.
Patting himself on the back, exactly. Yeah, he's icky. That's the best word I can come up with. He's just icky. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, had it really rough. Okay,
yeah,
sure.
I'm sure he did. Another crazy Democrat that's choosing the LGBTQ hill to die on will eventually, this whole thing is going to die politically one day. It may not be today, but it's going to die eventually. Maybe in the election of 2028, they're finally going to figure out that this is a losing proposition. But anyway, there's this lady that is running for New Jersey governor. Her name is Mikey Cheryl? I don't know. Anyway, she was asked if parents could opt out of a class that teaches this LGBTQ propaganda. And this is what she had to say.
I believe that parents have the right to oversee their children's education. I would push an LGBTQ education into our schools. Parents have a right to opt out of a lot of things, but this is not an area where they should be opting out, because this is an area of understanding the background of people throughout our nation. And right now we see, for example, at the Naval Academy, an erasure of history.
Steve Sweeney.
Yeah. So you're going to be...
They have the right to their children's education, and, you can opt out of a lot of things, but not this.
But not this, because this is important. This is history.
No, it's not. It's shove it down your throat, in my opinion. And it's like, no. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do them any good. But that stuff is, we've seen what they've tried to do to our children. And when they started coming after the children was when it just started crumbling. It's like, no, that's enough of that.
This whole trans movement, I heard this yesterday. Clay and Buck were interviewing Riley Gaines, and I did not heard about this. Of course, I don't get on Twitter or X very often myself. I know you and I have recently been dipping into that a little more often. There's some good stuff on there. But Riley Gaines was called out by AOC about just basically saying that Riley Gaines was a sellout and she's this and that. It's like being attacked over nothing. Riley Gaines is at the house. She's a new mom, and she's living her life. Hasn't really been in the spotlight lately, but AOC decided to call her out. I mean, it's like, and it's all about the whole trans movement, because she was so focused on competing only against other women, which makes sense. Again, common sense. We hate that. goodness gracious.
Well, if you're being called out, that means you've done something. You've hit the nail on the head, and that's not the narrative that they want. They don't want the truth out. They want their narrative. So when you get all of a sudden hit on that and called out, it's because you hit a nerve that they going, no, 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 no. You can't say that. You can't talk about that. That's not what our narrative is.
Again, and just to use Kamala's term, just to be clear again, we don't care what you do as an adult. If you want to dress like a woman, call yourself a woman, God bless you. Have a great time at it. But man, don't teach it to our kids. This is the hill I will die on. Don't mess with our kids. I mean, if we want to talk about it at home, that's one thing. If we don't, I don't think sex ought to be brought up in school in any way, shape, or form, at least till high school, and then only in the context of keeping yourself safe from communicable diseases or pregnancies or whatever. I mean, that would be the only thing that you should bring it up and basically say, you know, these are options for you to keep yourself safe. Other than that, and that's the way it was when I was in school, I'm sure it was the same with you.
Yeah.
It should not be brought up to third graders, fifth graders, seventh graders, not even close. I didn't talk to my seventh grader about sex. As a teacher, you shouldn't either. I don't know.
Yeah, leave the kids alone. I'm sorry. It's and that's been the problem with the economy going where it was a 2 working person household. You just run out of any enthusiasm or energy to take care of and raise kids because, well, did you talk? No, I didn't get to. I've got a meeting. I've got to be late. Life is just slow down a little. It's okay.
Just slow down like we are. We're very slow, unless we're caffeinated on Tuesday morning. CNN's political panel moderator, Abby Phillip, was on the radio show The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God, and she was admitting to things most Americans know about Trump, but most Democratic pundits like her don't say. This is what she had to say.
When you look at what Trump is doing as president, in a way, he's challenging capitalism. He's putting tariffs on countries indiscriminately, just because he wants to, making the case that he's doing it for Americans. He is taking government stakes in private companies. That's a Bernie Sanders idea, by the way. He is creating a government website where people can shop around for prescription drugs, another Bernie Sanders idea. So his willingness to just take some of these ideas that Democrats have been talking about and just do them, no matter how controversial they are, has been one of the things that, whether you like him or not, what people will say about Trump is that he does what he says. And I think that Democrats, one of the big problems that they have is that voters don't think they're going to do what they say.
That's a fact.
They say all the right things, but they don't think they're going to do what they say. And so
they don't.
Whether it's challenging, you can call it challenging capitalism or challenging whatever, voters want to know that you're willing to buck the system for them. And I think Trump does that right now in a way that really shakes people up and makes people really mad. But that is also why a lot of voters, whether they like him or not, they will describe him as effective.
I couldn't agree more. And
well, when she's saying he's just doing the tariffs because he wants to, just willy-nilly. No, it's countries that have been cleaning our clock on taking advantage of everything because we don't want to disturb them. He's going, no, you want to do business here? We're the best country in the world to do business with. You want to do business here? It's going to cost you something because you've been getting away with nothing.
Right. It's strategic in other ways too. It's like he's putting extra tariffs on India to not buy Russian oil.
Yep.
And so I mean, there's
bargaining
a lot of
chips.
Yeah, exactly. In China, they're not wanting to play, and so he's bringing back the heavy tariffs on them too. It's like, and yeah, maybe it will hurt your Temu purchases or whatever, but who cares? I mean, these are the kind of things that need to be done, and I will applaud Charlemagne. He's actually been pretty
fair about stuff.
He has been pretty fair when it comes.
He still
to
has
Trump.
his opinion, but it's, he's still. I'll give him being fair about it.
Right. I will too. He's had some good people on there. He's had Larry Elder on there, and actually gave him a platform to talk. And Larry Elder's one of the smartest guys in radio. He had a radio show for many years. But I mean, and having Abby on there and letting her say the way she did, and he agreed. So I mean, you got to give him credit. Some people are starting to come around and go, yeah, he's not quite the Hitler-esque guy that everybody tries to say he is. So
he's doing stuff for the American people. I mean, he took some of because we had a surplus of stuff coming in for tariffs. That's part of how the military's getting paid this month.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for the tariffs, they wouldn't be getting paid.
Speaking of tariffs, I think we are going to have what we're going to call a podcast extra. It's about the history of tariffs. Richard and I are going to read an article back and forth, and it's a long article, but it gives you the history of tariffs from the very beginning up until the recent history, and it really is very enlightening. Richard and I both have read this from the magazine called Imprimis from Hillsdale College. Great people. I think you're going to enjoy that. We're going to put that out probably in the middle of maybe beginning of next week, end of next week. It's going to be out.
We're working on it. Some of us need to do their part of the recording. I won't say who the some of us is, but some of us need to get their button gear.
I didn't finish my end either. I've been busy. But no, I'm with you. But we'll probably have it at the end of next week for sure. But I think you're going to like that. We'll let you know when we put that out. But it'll be all over our socials, and you can find it out about that there. We do need a palate cleanser now, though, don't we?
Yes. Oh, please.
Yeah. I need a tongue scraper, man.
We're going to be over. I don't care.
Oh, I know.
Gee, it's not like it's ever happened before.
No, never over an hour. Never. Unless you mean every time over an hour. I don't think we've ever had one under an hour. Anyway, this is the rest of the story about a celebrity that we all know, even though I think fame has gone to his head, and I think he's probably too much indulgence on his own.
It's a good story of someone we're not real fond of. Let's just put it that way. How's that?
But it's a great story of coming from nowhere and doing something with it. So, and now
the rest of the story. This is the story of two sons, one who was loved and one who was not. It was the elder son who won his parents' adoration. He was tall and blond and robust, heroically handsome, breathtakingly charming. The younger son, the unfavored one, was a timid little boy with thick glasses and ears that stuck out, and a chronically sickly child darkened in his elder brother's all-encompassing shadow. A misfit whose obtrusively second-class treatment caused a family friend to nickname him, despite his gender, Cinderella. It was the boy's father who set the formidable standards that poor little Cinderella could never seem to live up to. Dad was the big man in town, the police chief, the embodiment of the law, and the role model for the community. His own athletic inclination caused him to demand a rivalry between his sons in every imaginable sport, running, wrestling, boxing, anything. And when the younger son would lose the contest, as most often he did, Dad would always rub it in. "Tell me which one of you is the best," the old man would demand. And humiliated, on the verge of tears, Cinderella would nod in the direction of his Adonic Olympian older brother. There may have been a terrible suspicion behind that blatant and aggressive favoritism, for often after Dad had been out drinking with friends, he would come home and rave at his wife that this younger boy of theirs was not his. Yet whether the repeated accusation was inspired by additional knowledge or innate antipathy, the word bastard rang loudly in the little boy's ears, and once again, quietly as always, his heart would break. By the age of 10, Cinderella's fear of his father was so intense that the latter's raised voice was enough to make the child wet himself. And so, with no hope of ever attaining Dad's approval, the sad, sickly little boy indulged in the only thing left to him, a fantasy that someday, some way, he would be big and he would be strong. He'd be big and strong enough to protect himself from the bullies of his childhood, his brother and his father. The older boy grew up, and he squandered his parents' incessant encouragement. He with the head start, squandered the unequivocal favor which he received from his father. He became a drunk, a womanizer, continually embattled and indebted, drifting aimlessly from job to job. Time and again, he ran afoul of the law. Only once was he arrested for assaulting an old lady. That landed him in prison for a year. And then one night, drunk and driving a girlfriend's car, he crashed and was killed. Home folks recall a notable absence from the funeral, that of the reckless young man's younger brother. And so you've heard a tale of two sons, one loved and one scorned, and yet the poignancy of its conclusion lies less in that the latter survived than in how he survived. By becoming bigger and stronger and self-esteemed thereby, you never even knew the errant son, the favored one, named Meinhard Schwarzenegger. But you know the kid brother now. The one with the thick glasses and the big ears, the boy who was once called Cinderella, unknowingly destined for the inaugural ball, the little fellow named Arnold Schwarzenegger. Only now you know the rest of the story.
You have to give him credit. He brought himself out of nowhere. And
yeah. Well, and you see that in kids that say were really good in high school, in athletics, everything they did, they were always the best. Then they go to college and they're still good, but maybe not the best, but they're doing well. And then they get drafted in the pros and they can't make it because they've never worked at it.
Yeah, that's true.
And you if you're not working at it when you get to the pros, it isn't going to happen.
No. And you do see that all the time. You see Heisman Trophy winners that have kind of made it on their natural abilities, and they didn't have to work at it. And the ones who worked at it may have had maybe mediocre genetics for it. I mean, it's incredible. It really is.
An example is Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos. His first year was not the best, but you know what he did? He kept getting coached. He kept asking questions. He was coachable. What do I need to do different? Okay, instead of I know how to do that. Well, no, you don't, and that's why we're working with you. And he's learned how to read defenses, and there's others that they get out there and they cannot read these. They stand back there. You can't stand that long in the NFL. And with the recent draft, we've seen a lot of that. So.
No, it's another great example. Johnny Manziel, when he first got to the pros, he was terrible. He just had an ego, and he was just he was
and he didn't make it.
And he didn't make it. Now he's with Tampa Bay, and he's actually doing well.
No, that's not Johnny Manziel. That's Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, that's who I'm thinking.
He was working at trying to learn it, and he had so many changes. Yeah, Johnny Manziel just didn't make it, period. But he's had so many different coaches, and then he was at this team, and he was that team, and he's very smart, and then he just kept trying to be better. Yeah, and now he's got a system that works for him, and he's figured things out, and all of a sudden he's playing at the top of his game. He's one of the best in the league right now.
Fantastic, inspirational. He gives his teammates credit. I've been a Buccaneers fan since '76 when they first started. So I mean, it's good to see them do well, and they got a good quarterback, and they've really got a great team all together. Yeah. So it's great to see Baker Mayfield do well.
It's like if you're not doing well at it, figure out how to make it better, how to work for you. Not everybody's gonna have the same thing work for them. So do what's good for you.
Be teachable again.
Yes.
So anyway, we hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker, Rumble, or wherever you get those pesky little podcasts.
Or if you there are still people that go, how does this podcast thing work? Don't worry about it. You know how to get to a website? Yeah. Good. Just go to our good old website of stayoffmylawn.us, standing for us, of course, for all of our past and present episodes.
I got a story about US. I'll tell you next week. It's good stuff. Anyway, we'll see you next week, folks.
Toodles, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to tell a friend. We appreciate y'all. Well, we had fun and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.